So, if you're thinking about moving and you're considering the Dallas-Fort Worth area, how about Denton County? Stay with me. I'm going to talk to you about selling your house today and what does that cost. So maybe you're moving away from Denton County, but still I can help you with that too. So let me show you real soon. So, if you're toying with the idea of selling your house, you probably are wondering how much it'll cost. To be honest, the final number does depend on several factors, like what you accept in your offer, what the closing costs are, how many repairs you tackle, and so much more. So, let me give you a ballpark idea of what to expect. So here's a graph just showing you the listing commission typically on a house you're paying, buyer agent commission that you're typically paying on a house. We're in October of 2024. Repairs, so that can be very negotiable. That's all, can be so different. Then closing cost, buyer concessions, that is also certainly negotiable. Your moving cost, marketing cost, staging cost. Typically, the seller pays the concessions for the buyer's agent and seller's agent. Then there is closing costs that are going to be associated with that closing, and there is going to be like a title policy, that kind of thing. So those things are pretty normal. So that's pretty standard. What is very negotiable is repairs, buyer concessions, moving cost, marketing costs, staging cost. Even commissions are very negotiable. So we put that all kind of in perspective, and homeowners today typically have a substantial amount of equity. And sometimes, you really don't want to move, but you've gotten a transfer, so you have to move for that job. Or maybe you had a grandchild and you want to move closer to that baby. So you probably could recoup your selling costs pretty quickly, and you may have, enough equity for that next house. So let's dive in and check out those costs so you know what they look like and what would make sense. So closing costs and commissions. So there are fees paid at the closing table to cover the various aspects of the sale. You'll have your own closing cost, and you may even offer to pay some of the buyer's closing cost. Sometimes the buyer doesn't have enough money, but is capable of buying a house, but doesn't have quite enough. That's when they'll ask for seller concessions towards their purchase. So closing costs or fees are paid to finalize the transaction and transfer home ownership to that new buyer. Sellers can expect to pay 2 to 4% of sale price of the home in fees and taxes on top of the agent commission based on national median average. That is anywhere, closing costs, $7,740 to $15,480. So then you will have agent commissions on top of that. Typically, I tell people 7.5% for just a super rough idea of what closing costs are going to be. And that would include everything, taxes, agent commissions, that kind of thing. In certain states, there are property taxes, like in Texas. So that amount, whatever that amount is for that house, that's going to be prorated throughout the year. And if you buy a house at the end of the year, the title company is going to go ahead and take the money out for the taxes. So that will be money, if you had money in escrow, that's going to come back to you when you sell your house. Then those taxes are going to vary, but you should likely, if you've already paid it, so it's for the time of the year you've owned the house, and then the time of the year the new buyer owns the house, you will get reimbursed for that buyer time. And so that's a good thing. But title companies will make sure that property is free and clear of any liens, taxes, past due, just anything that might show up as a cloud on title. Occasionally, the house is in an HOA community, and there may be something that the seller did not get done before closing, and so maybe they have to replace something as per whatever the HOA requirements are, or maybe any violations that happen, those get cleared up at the closing time too. What you can do if you're a seller is you can go ahead and get an inspection on the property before you list it. It's called a pre-listing inspection. It gives you an idea of what's going to come up in the future when you are selling your house. And if you need to make any repairs, you can go ahead and do that. Now, that's not a guarantee that the buyer's not going to ask for some repairs when they do buy your house, but you will know what needs to be repaired, and you can do that. So occasionally, you can offer money to be paid at closing towards those repairs, and sometimes that's better for them, or maybe the buyer wants to have their own person, and you can credit them that money for the repairs. And then home staging, it is always better to have your home staged. And with the increase of inventory in the market, we want to see things where you might stage that house and really give that buyer an idea of what that house is going to look like. And you could rent furniture. There are some people that do what I call staging light, and maybe that's just pictures on the wall or ideas of what would be in that room, and that helps buyers and their eye when they go into a room and what they're seeing. So that might be helpful too. I think typically a staged house is better than a house that is vacant, so that will really help people. Now, if you wanted to do a professional staging service, those can be expensive, anywhere from $750 to $3,000 to stage that house if it was vacant. And it kind of depends on the house, the area you're in, that kind of thing, as to what you want to do. An agent will help you with that and give you advice and suggestions. I mean, one thing I do as an agent is I have a stager go into the house and help the people set that house up based on what's going to look good for the pictures. But sometimes people don't know, okay, I shouldn't have this out, or I shouldn't have that out. I noticed in some pictures today, there was a little step stool in the pictures, and really you might have had that moved away prior to taking pictures. And sometimes you just don't think about that. But there's things that the stager's going to tell you that you would have never thought about, and then you're like, oh, that makes complete sense. So that could help you. Then leaning on your agent is really key. So it's really good to have a relationship there where you can help, that agent can help guide you through this transaction. It's probably one of the bigger transactions you'll have in your life. So the experienced agent is going to have a lot of knowledge about that and what works, what doesn't work. And then the other thing is they're going to have pricing strategies for you so that you know this would be the best way. I mean, you don't want to, right now in this market, you do not want to list for higher than what the market value is saying your house is worth, because you just don't know. You're just the house then may sit on the market a longer amount of time. And then once it's on the market so many days, people are going to start saying, what's wrong with that property? Whereas if you had priced it right in the beginning, then that's less likely to happen. So the agent can help you with pricing strategies on that, and maybe even how to sell the house for more. Sometimes I say, well, if we would list it for perhaps just under the market value, then I think that's going to set you up for multiple offers. There's no guarantee, no crystal ball, we don't know, but that's something to think about when you're listing. But there's all kinds of strategies that people have when they're listing a house. So that's just a really helpful trick, and to talk to your agent about that. So we want to just help you with buying your house and how that might look and what you should be looking for. So hopefully that's helpful. I gave you that chart of kind of what costs are, and then just some ideas on closing costs, commissions, the inspection report, repairs, home staging, that kind of thing. And also, please have an agent you can trust. That's very important. We want to build that relationship with you, so that I try to treat my clients like their family, like I would treat my family. So I hope to do that for you too. So comment below. Let me know any questions you have or how I can help you.